wanted to share a metaphor that we often use in our development programs with women leaders. And it's called the magnificent castle metaphor. And I guess it's a proxy for self as context, because we find often in a corporate context, it's quite a difficult concept for people to get their head around. And we come at it from different ways, but this is a metaphor. We help people to kind of make that step into being able to go to that transcendent self, if you want to go to that sort of limit of maybe Stephen Hayes's thoughts about self as context. And it links to the if you've ever seen the Stephen Hayes I am not exercise, where you're trying to help people to go, oh, can I notice my comparisons? Can I notice that I am this thing, or maybe I'm not sometimes, or I'm not always this, or who would I be without all of this? So that's what the metaphor is about, helping people to make that step. It's not our metaphor. We've borrowed it from a guy called John Wellwood, who has a book called Love and Awakening, and it's a metaphor used in some other kind of concepts. And it goes like this. It says, imagine that you were a magnificent building of many, many rooms and halls, and each of those rooms was just magnificent and represented a different aspect of yourself, and that was totally integrated into the whole of the castle. And as children, we explored all the aspects of this castle without shame or judgment. We embraced all the spaces, whether it was a cupboard, whether it was a ballroom, a cellar. We searched for the jewels and the mysteries within each of the rooms, and each room was unique and full of light and wonder. Then one day someone came to our castle and told us that we couldn't have some of these rooms, or they weren't quite right, or they didn't belong in our castle. And they suggested that if we wanted to fit in, that maybe we better lock the door and bury the key. And since we wanted to be accepted and loved, we closed the door of this room. And as time went on, more and more people came by our castle, and they shared their opinions on which rooms they liked and they didn't like. And gradually we shut off more and more rooms from the light. And then we ourselves decided to close some rooms off. And suddenly we did it because we were afraid, or because we thought the rooms were too bold. And we took a look at other people's castles and saw that they didn't have a room like ours. Or maybe someone in authority told us to take away a room, and so doors slammed shut. But actually, our castle used to feel endless and bright and exciting. But stubbornly, our castle has stayed dark and inaccessible. In fact, we got so good at closing off rooms that we forgot that we were ever a magnificent castle, and that we began to believe that we were a small, dilapidated, two-bedroomed shack. So the castle is a metaphor for all of the parts of who we are. And that's part of the work that we do at Becoming. It's helping us to reclaim all of the rooms in our magnificent castle as a step to being able to notice that I am all of those things and I am none of those things. It's that step towards being able to understand that there's a part of me that can notice not just part of the story, but can claim the whole of the story of who I am.